We've all heard about the growing controversy over eminent domain. That's when the government can take your property for what the government considers the public's interest. Well, a group of Hoosier citizens in Decatur County have learned it's not just the government that can do that. When the public's interest involves heating homes, a great deal of money, and a natural gas pipeline.
I think in our group, the thing that's been most interesting is we all thought we were protected from things like this, and what we come to find out is we're not protected at all.
People's rights are being trampled, people are being ignored, landowners who have just as much right to how their property is used as Rex does, for sure.
Little red flags on trees and stakes mark the path of the Rockies Express pipeline, and for Joe and Susan Russ, the path of resistance.
What I'm opposed to is the process that they're using and where they're citing this particular pipeline, because it's environmentally destructive and it's unnecessary.
The Russ also see those red markers as signs of future danger from pipeline explosions, and at least some of their neighbors see that too.
One explosion that happened out west decimated 600 acres, and I only live on 50.
A bulldozer operator is dead after his machine cut into a natural gas pipeline.
South of Cheyenne, Wyoming. The 42-inch pipeline was ruptured about 9 miles south of Cheyenne.
Viewers from as far away as Fort Collins.
Denver television stations showed what that explosion out west did, in an area where the closest home was a mile away. Few places in Indiana or elsewhere on the pipeline's route are that remote. And there's no other pipeline like the $4.5 billion Rockies Express. This is where it would go as it moves natural gas in a 42-inch pipe 1,700 miles long from the supply areas of Colorado and Wyoming to the markets of the Midwest and East Coast.
We're not building a shopping mall. We are building a significant in the history of the country, significant piece of energy infrastructure that will be here for dozens and dozens of years.
I feel that the Constitution was not written to give the right of eminent domain to private industry.
Joseph Russ, on the day of that Wyoming fire, was making a video, which he posted on YouTube, arguing that the Rex pipeline puts people, the environment, and wildlife in danger. On the video sharing site, you'll find similar campaigns in other parts of the country. You'll also find several amateur videos of recent pipeline fires involving much smaller pipelines. And if you go to the website of the Federal Department of Transportation, you'll find a press release about DOT ordering Kinder Morgan, one of 3 companies behind the Rex pipeline, to address integrity threats in one of its existing pipeline systems. DOT investigators noted there had been at least 44 accidents, with some 14 of them resulting in the release of more than 5 barrels of refined petroleum products, end quote.
You know, we're doing our best. We're certainly abiding by all the applicable regulations that exist, and we think, you know, for a project that's providing a significant need for the country, we think we're being cognizant of all of the factors that are involved with that process.
You don't think this will be safe?
Well, it can be. They designed it to be safe, but you never know what can happen. And
Kevin Williams lives in Shelby County, where his wife Debbie greeted some of the pipeline people when they came to survey the couple's land.
They came to the door and asked if they could come on our property, and I said, no, I really don't care for you to be on it because we aren't in favor of this pipeline. And he said, well, we can still do it if we want. And I said, so in other words, if I tell you no, it really doesn't matter. And he said, no, that's probably right.
This is a map of the natural gas pipelines in Indiana.
And, Monica Yane, who owns a farm in Franklin County, thinks the new pipeline should follow the path of existing pipelines, such as the Panhandle Eastern Pipeline north of Indianapolis. That runs across mostly flat terrain, which is very different from the hills and streams of Yane's home county. But Alan Four says the existing routes just don't go in the right places. and rerouting the Rex pipeline would add significantly to its length and consequently increase its environmental impact. And besides, it has to go someplace.
If it's authorized to be constructed and we construct it, it can't stop at one place and start in another. It needs to go on that through the property that it's routed. And the ultimate decision on where to route the property, it's important to note this, is up to FERC. We propose a route. They make the final determination on where that route should be.
The pipeline spokesman says over 80% of the property owners affected by the Rex project appear to be supporting it. And even Joe Rust acknowledges there's not a single environmental group anywhere opposing it. But that doesn't discourage his Indiana group.
The beauty of the Hoosier mentality is David versus Goliath sort of battles that go on, and I believe that that will take its toll throughout the United States.